So a few months before 9/11, Josephine Harris was hit by a car. The way she described it, her back went into the air, and when she fell down on her side. So she had a limp. She had one perfectly working leg, and the other leg was a burden, and she was walking with a limp. So she knew she had to get out of the building after the planes hit. So she's trying to vacate the building. She had to descend 50 flights of stairs with her one good working leg. Then she came into contact with some firefighters. The firefighters of Ladder 6. They were there to save civilians. You know, they were in their courage is insane because they knew that the building was going to collapse. It was imminent. So going in there, knowing that there's a good chance that you might not get out and you might be crushed, which is a terrible way to die. The firefighters get to her and they help her down some stairs. So at this point, she can't even walk. So they're carrying her down the stairs. And at some point, she just tells them, "Hey, leave me behind. I can't." She was ready to die. She was out of pure exhaustion. She was just giving up. She wanted to just be left behind so that, they can escape with their lives. So at 10:28 a.m., the North Tower of the World Trade Center began to collapse. The firefighters found themselves in a unique position because of Josephine Harris. They were on stairwell B at that time. Had they been anywhere else, a little further ahead, a little further behind, they would have been crushed by debris. But because of the timing, there was a miracle at stairwell B. It remained intact, and they survived. If you can imagine the scene, there's very little light. Everything had just collapsed around you, the smells, the noises. Nothing probably feels normal. You're almost disoriented because you don't know which way is up or which way is down.
Anybody have artillery with
Called Josephine Harris their guardian angel because she was the one that got them to that safe spot. When you experience something like that, you do grow a bond with the people that you experience this insane event with. She said she gained 6 brothers that day because the firefighters, that saved her life. But obviously, something like this has an impact on you and it changes you. So after that, she dealt with unemployment and poverty and being alone. She basically died anonymously. And then the firefighters then found out that she passed, and they wanted to honor her one last time. Learning this story, I just, coming from an engineering background, the numbers, the probability, everything coming together with Josephine being hit by a car, not being able to really walk, and the firefighters and their courage and not leaving her behind, and just found themselves in this perfect place where everything around them peeled away like a banana, but they were left alive. It just gives you this sense of you don't even know what's going to happen next. Anything can happen. You could be the one crushed, or you could be the one in the miracle zone. You know, the way her life ended was, you know, it's a little bit sad because she died alone. She died of a heart attack, but you know, she still had people that cared about her and loved her enough to want to remember her and recognize her in the grand way that she deserved to be.
I met Steve Jacobson in the summer after my junior year in college. I was working as an intern at WPIX TV, and I was assigned to a project where we had to mark our assets in the station with property tags and take an inventory. And so Steve was the engineer assigned to work with us that day. Steve was the transmitter engineer, and he had the reputation of being the expert on the transmitter in the station. The day that I met him, I was working with our senior accountant, and we went to the transmitter. Well, we went to the North Tower. So we get to a point on our list where we had to look at the antennas. And so he kind of just smiled. He said, well, because I'm not sure you can really put a tag on it, but we can go take a look. Takes us outside to the roof of the North Tower. I lost my mind. I was so excited to see this thing that, you know, the general public can't see this roof. I think that was the summer of 1991. After I graduated college, I went to work in the accounting department, and so I worked there the day of the '93 bombing too. And so I called him, and he's like, oh yeah, everything's fine, it's okay. He goes, you know, the building shook a little bit, but it's fine. And so, you know, I hung up. And so a few days later, I ran into his best friend at the station. His name was Vic Arnone. And so these guys were maintenance engineers. Vic was the #2 transmitter guy. So if Steve was on vacation, Vic would cover. So the morning of 9/11, I was home on maternity leave. I had a 2-year-old daughter at the time, and my son was about 2 months old. So I was home with my kids, and again, my father called me to tell me that a plane hit the World Trade Center. So I called the station, and I called and I asked about Steve. And so Vic had called Steve twice. So I believe the first phone call was him telling him, you need to get out of there. You know, a plane hit the building. And so he said, no, I can't get out, there's too much smoke. And then a second phone call that Vic made to Steve told him, you have to get out. You know, it's not safe, you have to leave. He said, I can't leave, it's too hot. He said, send help, and then the phone went dead.
Hello?
So later on, when I had read more accounts about it, it was the heat on those floors. Some people think that maybe the doors had melded shut and that he couldn't get out. He would have tried to get out, but it was just, I think it was the heat that got them. And so it was a few months later when I called the station again, and I just asked if they'd heard anything about Steve, and they said that they had found him. I don't know where they found him, but they had found him a few months later. So it was just one of those things where you're just kind of heartbroken for his family. He had 2 daughters, he had a wife. I understand he was really close to his mother and his sister, so that's what made me sick, was thinking about what they had to go through. I really respected him, and I really thought he was a really kind man, and I have some incredible memories of being at the North Tower up on that antenna, looking at that antenna, because he was so kind. And it was one of those things, he didn't have to take out the time to do that for us, but it's something that I'm really grateful for.
Louie Cacchioli was a firefighter, 47th ladder. He and 4 other battalions, they went into the North Tower, but he got separated from his battalion, and he ended up helping like 40 civilians by himself.
As I'm getting closer, I'm saying to myself, this has become, it's not about putting out a fire here. This is becoming a rescue operation. It's going to be about who's going to live through this. We get there, we park the rig, we get out, we all line up, and we have to go. We were supposed to go to the South Tower. So we start walking, we walk underneath the North Tower, we're underneath the Marriott. The Marriott was in between the 2 towers. And that's when all hell broke loose. Jumpers are coming down. Yeah, then from there, we got orders to go. We got different orders to go somewhere, to go into the North Tower. So they put us together with 3 other companies. We formed a four company team. We had orders to go to the 44th floor, North Tower. So Captain Hines, a 13 truck, led the way. He started looking for elevators. We went into the North Tower. There wasn't many elevators that were operable. Most of them they were all out of order. While all this is going on, I'm hearing all kinds of rumbling. Remember, I'm hearing all kinds of rumbling, all kinds of transmission on the radio. I'm hearing maydays. Buddies of mine are giving maydays, and I'm trying to answer them. I don't know if they heard me, you know what I'm saying? And it's like chaos. Meanwhile, I have no clue, none of us had any clue, that the South Tower was going down. I come out of there, it's pitch black in the hallway, I'm yelling. All of a sudden I have a bunch of people, and they scream, it's pitch black, and they showed me where there was another staircase. They saved my life, okay? I said, okay, let's go. Follow me, I have the flashlight on, and we found another staircase on the other side, and we went down the stairs. Finally, we get downstairs to the bottom floor, okay? The door was a little stuck. I yelled, I need a couple of guys, give me a hand here, let's go. But they helped me force the door to pull it so we all could get out. There was nobody in the lobby, not one soul, okay? So I saw light to the right of me, and I saw light to the right, and I came out on the West Side Highway. And all of a sudden I hear, Louie, Louie, Louie. I turn around, it's my chauffeur. He's yelling, where you been? We're calling you. Nobody, you're not answering. I said, Lance, I was stuck in an elevator. I gave the transmission. The radios weren't working well, and this and that. And I said, where's the tower? He goes, the tower's down. Where's the rest of the guys? He goes, we don't know. 2 guys that you were missing. 2 guys are missing. 2 guys are in the hospital. It's like mass chaos outside, right? All of a sudden I hear, look out, look out, look out. The tower that I was in, I look over my right shoulder, I see the antenna is buckling like this.
Oh my God.
Both towers down. I hope they evacuated everybody out of that area because...
I found the chief Mike Teleska. I helped him up. Then what happened was all the stuff comes down, all the debris, and I got engulfed. And what happened was I feel I'm passing out. Now, this is the time I feel like I was in the tower. I made it out. I said, I'm going to die here. This is the time I saw my wife, my kids pass in front of me. I said, I'm going to die out in the street here. You know, since I felt my lungs were filled up with all the dust and everything else, all the cement, the powder. and I knew I was gonna pass out. And I remember trying to drag the mask, trying to drag it on the floor, and I passed out. I woke up, I was on the side of the highway, not too far from there, I don't even know how far it was, but I wasn't too far, I was on the side of the highway, and I had 2 paramedics working on me, cleaning me up and giving me oxygen.
You know, when you think about everything that happened and how it happened, to run into a building that's falling or trying to save as many lives as you can, and everybody was just supposed to get out of there, and they're wanting to go in there to help people, those are real heroes, and Louie's definitely a special guy.